Welcome to the Lending Forward podcast, brought to you by Atlantic Bay Mortgage Group. This is your home for real discussions about the mortgage and housing industry. Our hosts are here bringing you firsthand accounts every week from people at the heart of the business. And we're chatting with professionals from all corners of the industry as they help cultivate transparency around the future of the industry we love. Together, we are lending forward all we know to you. Thanks for joining us for today's episode. Let's dive in.
All right, we're back with another episode of Lending Forward. I am hosting today. I'm Hannah McManus, and I thought we could bring something new, something fresh to the podcast today. So, for the past couple of years, we've been beat up on rates. We know we have an inventory issue. We've been talking a lot about forecasting and economics and social media and AI. And I think everyone could use a fun and energizing topic. And I don't think there's anyone better to bring that energy than Steve Richman. So, hey, Steve.
What an intro. Because I got to tell you something. The way you started, I'm just sitting here listening and you're like, we're looking for something new and fresh. And the word Steve Richman has never been brought with new and fresh. So thank you. So you just made my whole day. Thank you for saying that. I'm new and fresh, baby. Here we go.
Well, thanks for joining the podcast. We've had you on last year. Fun fact, you were actually one of my very first interviewees with Lending Forward. And we talked a lot about mindset and we talked some serious conversations then, but I do think everybody needs an energy lift, an energy boost. And so what is a topic that you think is fun and energizing that we can talk about today?
Well, you said lending forward. And I sit at home and I don't know if you've seen this. I'm recently doing something you should be watching on Netflix every week. Like, stop worrying about work. You know what rates are going to be? Rates are going to be what they're going to be. What's inventory going to be? It's going to be what it's going to be. What's the competition going to be? How are they going to change the CFPB? Folks, we're inundated. We're beaten with that. We're hit every single day. And I look at it and I say, I like watching TV. I know you shouldn't like it. You see, you're smart, Hannah. I watch TV. I watch movies. I listen to music and stuff like that. But then I also start to listen to stories and I read articles and whatnot. And I've learned a lot from the world of pop culture and how it can apply to make your life better, your business better and everything. So if you want to have some fun, something that's new and fresh, like you said, I've heard some stories. I'm willing to, none of them are mine, but it's things that I've heard and I've applied them and it's helped me. So I'm happy to share that.
I love that. I love learning life lessons from celebrities. So let's go. Who do you have first? What's your first pop culture life lesson from pop culture?
I'll do a quick one and it's going to be really, really selfish.
Okay.
It's a guy named Bruce Springsteen. Now you're going to laugh because, well, you won't laugh because you don't know me. Well, number one, have you ever heard of Bruce Springsteen, Hannah?
Yes.
All right. I want to make sure that, we're on the same generation gap there. So when I was in college, I hated Bruce Springsteen. I was not a Bruce Springsteen fan. I've come to appreciate who Bruce Springsteen is and how much people love him. I am not the ultimate ultra fan like a lot of people are, but okay. But he's still Bruce, right? He's still Bruce. And he wrote, have you ever heard of the Ramones?
Yes.
Okay. So he wrote a song for the Ramones called Hungry Heart.
Okay.
And when he wrote Hungry Heart, he's like, well, I'm starting off in the business, the Ramones, I'm going to write them a song. And he took the song and he gave it to his agent to send over to the Ramones. And his agent said, nope, it's too good.
Oh.
It's yours. Don't give it away. And to me, that lesson is trusting yourself. Know what your worth is. Know where your value is. Stop giving it away to somebody else. And that song was the first Bruce Springsteen was like an all-male audience. He's Bruce, man. He's the boss. He's the guy's guy. And when he wrote Hungry Heart, he got a whole new audience because all the women started to listen to that. And that's how they started to relate to Bruce Springsteen. So when I look at the world of pop culture, I'm like, hey, you know what? This is the stuff you're in charge of you. This is the stuff that you're creating. I agree with lend it forward, give certain things away, but you know what? You still got to make sure you're taking care of yourself and keep the best for yourself. So how's that? Is that an interesting story? I like that story.
It is. It is an interesting story, and it's a good life lesson. I'm writing down the life lessons as you go. So we're not going to give it away for free. We're going to know our value. What else you got?
You got Adam Sandler. This
Oh,
may
I
be
love
my
Adam
favorite.
Sandler.
Everybody loves Adam
I
Sandler.
know.
He's just lovable, right? So, but we also know, I'll take that back. Not everybody loves Adam Sandler.
Mm,
Who doesn't love Adam Sandler, Hannah? You got to know this one. The
no.
critics. The critics hate Adam
Oh.
Sandler. They slam his movie. He can't act. He's immature. They all hate him, but he's Adam Sandler. He is a gazillionaire. He actually has more money than any other Saturday Night Live alumni that's out there.
Wow.
And Adam, that's like Eddie Murphy level. That's Billy Crystal, big people. So Adam Sandler tells a story. He's in college. He's going there and he's going to learn how to be an actor and everything. And one of his professors says to him, he says, "Hey, let's go out and have a beer." And so Adam Sandler goes out with his professor and they go to have a beer. And the professor sits down and says, "You know what? What's plan B?
Oh.
I don't think you're going to make it. I don't think that this is the right career for you." And Adam Sandler said, "Okay, thanks." Moved on. Then he becomes what? Adam flippin' Sandler, right? I mean, he's in everything. He's one of the most famous movie stars in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And he's out at dinner one night and he looks over, he's with all the David Spades of the world and the Kevin James, all those guys. And he sees his professor walks into the restaurant. I hadn't seen him in 20 years, whatever. He says, "Professor, come over here, come over here, come over here. I want to introduce you to everybody." And he's thinking, the professor, "Oh my God, this guy's going to rip me up saying how stupid I was telling him to go get another career." And you know what Sandler says to him? Sandler says to all the guys, "This is my professor. He's the only professor that cared enough about me to take me out for a beer when I was in college."
Mm.
And he stopped there. He didn't say, and he told me something negative. He said, that's how much he cared about me. So you talk about being the biggest of the big, yet remaining humble and kind to others.
Yeah.
Life lesson right there.
Mm-hmm.
Humble and kind to others, virtue from Adam Sandler.
Yeah. That's
You like
awesome.
that one?
I do like that one. I really like that one. I think that's a life lesson that a lot of us can take too, is to don't hold grudges, right? Like just let it go and be kind. It's not that hard.
Look, I say this all the time. In our business, this is an incestuous business. You're going to see these people again and again. Oh, yeah. I'm glad they left that company. They're just going to another company and you're going to see them again. I'm actually doing work now. I used to work with for a company. I was an employee in the year 2000. I mean, that's a long time ago. I don't even know if you were born back then. Hannah,
I was.
You're a 90s.
I was.
You were in the 90s. I got you. But it was the year 2000 and I left that company. But I left on good terms. And I have to tell you, I now do contract work for them 20 some years later. So, not the humble part, no, but the appreciate from where you have been. You don't have to say bad things about other people. I think that stuff is so critical.
It is. And I think that honestly, I'll never forget it. That was one of the first pieces of advice I got when I got into the mortgage industry was, it feels huge now, but do not burn a bridge because this industry is small and everybody knows everybody in some form or fashion. And you don't want to have that reputation.
I'm laughing at you because I don't think you've ever burned a bridge in your life. You just look, you're like this like nice person, but whatever. But you say life lessons and apply to this industry. This is one, and you're Kevin Pollak, okay? Older actor, Usual Suspects, Few Good Men. He started off as a stand-up comic. And as a stand-up comic, he could imitate anybody. He does imitations, right? And he went on to Johnny Carson. All my life, I got to be on Johnny Carson. I got to be on Johnny Carson. How? Because when you're on Johnny Carson and he gives you the you did good, kid. They does what? Oh, I made it. He goes, how am I going to get? I got to get the good sign from Johnny Carson. Well, he went out there and there's a guy named Peter Falk. Do you know who Peter Falk is?
No idea.
You ever heard of Columbo? Like the old TV show Columbo?
Maybe. I'll Google it.
No, don't Google. I got one that you're going to know. So he was Columbo. So he was this famous actor for that. Have you heard of, or seen The Princess Bride?
Oh, yeah.
He's the grandfather.
Okay.
Okay, that's Peter Falk. So it's sort of an obscure character, not a very mainstream person, but he knew that Johnny Carson loved Peter Falk. So guess who he decided to do the impression of when he was on Johnny Carson? Johnny Carson's being shown in 1 million households across America, but Kevin Pollak said, I have an audience of one, Johnny Carson. And I know he likes Peter Falk, so I'm going to do a Peter Falk impression. And what did he do? Johnny Carson goes, I love that. That's like the greatest thing I've ever seen. And then he kept inviting Kevin Pollak back again and again and again. And the answer is, we always say, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. It's you should do unto others as they wish to be done unto. Know your audience, know what's important to them, and deliver for them. That's what you need to do.
That one, Steve, is gold. And that one, I hope everybody listened to that one, because I think that one, especially in today's market, is so important. Because I was talking to some interns a couple of days ago, and we are so commoditized. We are so not fun, it's mortgages. Like, what are you going to do? But to know who you're going after, to know your audience, and to really, position yourself towards them is the key to success. And we've had many, many podcast episodes about that, but I think that one is so key, especially right now. But keep going. What else you got?
You said we're commoditized. We're all the same. We're not having as much fun as we used to. Our customers are shopping us around. They're cynics. They're beating us up. Matt Damon.
I knew you were going to have another one.
I got him, right? Matt Damon. Dig me some Matt Damon. And Matt Damon tells the story about how he would go on auditions. And are auditions similar to the mortgage industry? Sure. You, as an originator, you're auditioning for the customer to become their LO, right? I mean, that's what we're doing. So he's like, I go to these auditions and I'm always like, these casting agents are jerks. They hate me. They want me to mess up. They're trying to trick me up. They're trying to get rid of me. Oh. And you saw Good Will Hunting, didn't you?
Yeah.
He wrote that.
Yep. I did know that.
Him and Ben Affleck, right? And so they were doing the what? They were doing the casting. And once he stopped being the actor and he started doing the directing, the writing, and the casting, he goes, I realized something. I had it all wrong. You know what casting agents want? You know what directors want? They want to love you. They're rooting for you. They want you to walk in, because if you do a great job, you just made their job that much easier. They don't have to look at anybody else. They can stop. He goes, it changed my total mindset to realize that they want me to be great. And that's how I look at people with customers. They're shopping me around. No, you know what your customer wants? Your customer wants you to be great. Your customer wants you to be so good that you're making their life easy, that you're taking care of everything, and everything's going to work out. Your customer is actually your biggest fan. They've given you the faith to work with you. They want it to be, they're not beating you up. They're rooting for you all the time.
That's a huge perspective shift, but I am here for it. That is awesome, because I don't think a lot of people are looking at customers as their biggest fans. Especially as they are shopping around and, just pushing I say button, but.
Yeah. Well, Hannah, do you ever go to a restaurant?
Yeah.
Do you walk in and say, I hope this stinks? I hope that the chef messes up. I hope that the waiter or the waitress drops my food on the way over. Or are you saying, I hope they do a phenomenal job here. I hope I want to come back.
It's true.
It's not that big of a leap.
You're right. I love your perspective on things. I really do. I'm so glad you're on this podcast. Do you have more?
Of course. Of course. Well, I'll go back to Kevin Pollak because he was in A Few Good Men, but you said something earlier about, when I first got in this industry and there was so much to learn. There's a,
Yes.
and every day I'm still learning. We're all learning because this industry is changing every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And Kiefer Sutherland, who
Mm-hmm.
was in A Few Good Men, but he's been in 24 and he designated survivor and whatever. He's actually in a great documentary called Norman's Rare Guitars. If people are going to say, does this guy just watch TV all day long or does he actually work? I actually do some work. But I don't know if you know this, but Kiefer Sutherland's father, Donald Sutherland, was a very famous actor.
I
Okay.
did not know that.
You did not. So he was the aliens, well, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He was a main character in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He was in The Dirty Dozen, and he was in my opinion, one of the greatest movies of all time. Well, oh, did you see The Hunger Games?
Yeah.
Okay, he was President
Oh,
Snow.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's Donald Sutherland, but he was in Animal House. I love Animal House. Animal House.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
So what happens is Donald Sutherland, his little kid, 6-year-old Kiefer, it has to be with daddy, and daddy's out on making a movie somewhere. So he's living in some hotel, right? They're in the middle of Hollywood. He's in the hotel, bum, 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 bum. And it's a Sunday. And what do you think Donald Sutherland, he's got a 6-year-old kid, 5-year-old kid sitting there with him. But what does dad want to do on a Sunday? All he wanted to do was watch football.
Mm-hmm.
And Kiefer's like, I don't really care about football. And so what Donald Sutherland did is he gave his son like 10 quarters and said, okay, let's make a bet. Do you think they're going to get a first down? Let's bet. Well, I don't know what a first down is. Let me tell you what a first down is. You want to bet a quarter if they're going to make a first down or not? Kiefer Sutherland says, I didn't care about football until my dad made it fun. Yeah. By making me bet on it and have a good time with it and look at it from, because I'm never going to play it. I'm not out there. What do I care? But once he got me involved in it, engaged with it and made it fun, guess what? Then I started to care about it. And what did my dad do? My dad got to do what he wanted to do because he made it fun for me. So if we're either teaching or we're learning, figure out where that fun button is. And when you do that, boom, you're going to be on the same page with the other person.
You are the king of making things fun. I mean, every
tell my kids that.
But truthfully, like every time you're speaking, either at one of our events or an MBA event, you've always got a way of making things fun. And so I do have to ask you, a not pop culture question is, I mean, practically, for the loan officers that are listening, they are getting beat up. They're tired. They're burnt out. They're being shopped. How can they shift that perspective to find that fun button that they once had in the mortgage industry? How do they get it back?
One, if you want to read a book about it, it's called Fish.
Oh.
The author's name, I want to say it's like Stephen Lutz. I can't swear to it. But if you look up Fish, Pikes Peak Fish Market story, it looks like Who Moved My Cheese. It's one of these like little books that you're going to read in about 15 minutes. But it says you're working in the Pikes Peak Fish Market. You smell like fish. You have guts all over you. I mean, what's a worse job than that? And he says, what are the 4 elements to try and make that kind of job interesting? And number 1, it's find the game, find the fun in that what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And when I look at it for business, and I don't know when this is going to come out, but right now it's, I think, the last day of January. It might be the second to last day of January. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's the end of January.
The end of January.
So we're all doing our goals, right? And we're all setting up what our goals are. And we're making a mistake with our goals because we're just talking A, money, and B, end of the year, where do you want to be? Mm-hmm. I talk about a thing called micro goals. What's a little goal that you can, so what I do, my micro goal always is on every time I'm presenting, my first goal is I got to get them to laugh. Because when I get you to look, you just laughed. I know I got you. I don't need to keep explaining it. You understand. As soon as I get you to laugh, my micro goal is if I get you to laugh, I know I got you engaged. My other micro goal is, my goal is not to close your loan. My goal is to make, when I'm speaking, I want to make you think that this was so good that I'm going to get a referral out of it. And when I'm a loan officer, I'm going to make this so good that you're going to send somebody else to me. Mm-hmm. And So I'm constant, but we're back to Kiefer Sutherland right there, right? Where do you find the fun? Where do you find the game? Where do you find the challenge? It's not challenging saying, where am I going to be on December 31st? It's challenging right here, right now. Where's the game that I can play? I'm looking at you right now and saying, do you think I'm going to talk about Kevin Pollak? How can I make that relate to her and make her go, oh my God, I know who that is, right? So I'm always, if you look at it, there's a Japanese philosophy called Kaizen. Kai Zen. Kai means change. Zen means good. You've heard Zen, like a Zen garden.
Yeah.
So it's change for good. And the concept is if you make little changes, little goals, little improvements, little fun every single day, it all adds up to big changes, big improvement, big fun. So that's how you do it. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that's what we need to do. And that's how you can bring it back.
That was great. That was awesome. All right. Give me one more pop culture reference.
I'm going to go with, I think
Your
I'm going to
favorite.
go.
Give me your favorite one, unless you already did.
I did. Adam Sandler.
Which one's your favorite? Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler's my favorite one. I just think it's just such a great story. I'll do one that I know you have to know. You ever watch The Office?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember Kevin
Mm-hmm.
and his chili, the big bald guy and everything?
Yeah.
So he tells a story, and he's clearly not the lead in this, right? He's not Michael Scott. He's not Steve Carell. But he tells a story that after the first week, they changed everything in the office. And what they said was, you're not allowed to wear makeup anymore or fix your hair or do anything. Because what they realized was if they're showing a full day of work at the office, people look different at the end of the day and the beginning of the day. And people like, I'm a movie star. It wouldn't seem realistic. So what they ruled out, they said, no makeup, no getting your hair done before, be yourself. Because that's what we want, the authenticity, and we want you to be yourself. And I have to tell you, in this land of AI, in this land where we keep saying, who's your role model? Try and be like that person. If you really want to connect to others, be yourself, be authentic. And that's take the lesson from Kevin from The Office. No makeup, be yourself. And that's where you are.
That's awesome. That's really good. I love that one too. That might be my favorite, honestly, probably because I love The Office, but I do think that is, that's good life events or life lessons. You mentioned AI. So we have to talk AI for a second. But I feel like we can't not talk about AI anymore. And I'm sure that you have a fun perspective on AI as well. So give me like a quick, I don't know, a few minutes on what our listeners should be focusing on as far as AI is concerned right now.
Go back to Kevin Pollak. Know your audience. I can't stand when people, they ask me this all the time. They say, hey, Steve, what AI platform should I be on? People used to ask me, hey, Steve, what social media platform should I be on? Hey, what loan program should I be doing? It's the same answer to all three of those questions. I don't know. What are you trying to accomplish? Right? If you're talking to consumers, what do you have to do? You got to go be on Facebook. If you're talking B2B, you got to go be on LinkedIn, right? Till I know what you're trying to do, I can't tell you where to be. So when you say talk about AI, I say, where are you trying to go? Oh, I need something to help me better write my emails. Go to ChatGPT all day long. I'm looking to do some research, but people doubt me and they question me. And now I have to show my work, right? Like we had to do in math. I gotta have resources. I have to have footnotes. That's Google Gemini. Because when you use Google's Gemini, it does what? It sources every fact that's sitting there so I can tell you exactly where it came from. I was at a conference, I was at a speaking engagement yesterday, and I was talking to the people and they said, and it had nothing to do with mortgages, but they said, it's really difficult because the customer doesn't remember what I said to them when we're da-da-da-da-da. I said, there's an AI for that. It's called Otter.ai. Otter.ai will listen to your webinars like this one. It will record it. It will give you a transcript. It will give you a summary, and it will give you follow-up emails for free. So if you tell me I'm trying to learn that and remember what was said in that call, ChatGPT is not for you. Otter.ai is for you. In video, if you're trying to create videos, go get in video. It's a great way to get. So when you're thinking AI, it is not one size fits all. It's what are you trying to accomplish, and then go get that AI that accomplishes the thing that you're looking for.
That was great. That was really great. Well, Steve, I can't let you leave the podcast without asking
You got to ask me the question.
I do.
I thought you were cutting off. You got to ask me.
Absolutely not. I would never cut off. And you can tie it to pop culture if you'd like, but how are you going to lend it forward in 2025?
I got a philosophy that I'm going on this year, and it's sharing is caring.
Oh, I love it.
So my answer is, how do I lend it forward? I'm trying to share these stories with people, and hopefully that's what's going to help them. I'm trying to share these different AI platforms. I don't make any money if you go sign up for Otter AI, even though there's a free version of it and a pay version of it. But I'm going back to that concept of back to Matt Damon. If I want you to succeed, and if I can share some information, if I can share someone in my network with you, and that's going to help you succeed, that's where I am. So if you're listening to this podcast and you liked it, I don't want a thumbs up. I don't want you to say this was good. I want you to click the button and send it through your network and share it with others so that they get the information. Sharing is caring. And that's my paying it forward, lending it forward for 2020.
I love that. I would like them to subscribe and then share it. You missed that plug, but that's fine.
See, I'm always learning.
No, I really do appreciate you coming onto the podcast, Steve. If someone does want to get in touch with you, what is the best way to find you?
Easiest way is Steve Richman, RICHMAN.com. And if you're like, I can't find a website, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. I'm Steve Richman.
Perfect. Awesome, Steve. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Thanks again for tuning into today's episode of the Lending Forward podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram @LendingForward, on YouTube and LinkedIn. Tune in next week for another new episode, and go lend something forward today. Atlantic Bay Mortgage Group, LLC, NMLS number 72043, NMLSconsumeraccess.org is an equal opportunity lender and employer located at 600 Lynn Haven Parkway, Suite 100, Virginia Beach, Virginia 23452.